right, so this is Sprout.
He's throwing lots of little teeny tiny stress signals, but he's totally coping. Hi. Hi, buddy.
Is he licking lips?
Mm-hmm. Lip licking and some shaking and a little bit of like tiny yawns. Nothing super concerning. And what I like is, again, the whole point of doing temperament testing is to expose the puppies to stress. So it's normal and natural that we would see stress. But what we're watching for is how they respond to that stress. And he just kept going. He just kind of worked it through. He didn't throw himself in over his head, so he's got a really common sense approach to things. Whereas you'll see some puppies just kind of like they're all over the place. And he was not. He was focused and deliberate. Taking things in, noting that it made him a little uncomfortable, but moving right through it. And then now that he's found a lap, he's just like, I'll just hang out here. This is nice. He's licky, he's affectionate, he likes the physical attention, he's eating that up, he wanted that right away. There was, when I first reached for him, there was that tiny moment of typical freeze response. So, like with most poodles, working on having handling by strangers, but not making it a pleasant experience, not overwhelming. So structured, positive, gradual, just so that that never becomes a problem. And that's a breed thing, that's not a him thing. It's not problematic with him, but if you see any of that at all with a puppy of a breed that tends to be a little standoffish with people, then we want to work on that so that it never becomes a fear thing for them. But I mean, clearly he likes physical attention.
He does.
You're sweet. You just sit here all day?
Yes.
Do you want to play a game? He says we could, or you could just hold me. You want to go play? Let's go play. Let's go play. Look at this. Oh, good boy. Oh, yeah. 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 No. Okay. He says, I could, but I'd rather you just help me. But you know, with puppies that are like this, I think a lot of this for a lot of puppies is a little bit of a stress response, but it's a good stress response. Like if you're going to be stressed out, then come back to me and I'll take care of you is a great default thing to do rather than freeze or run away with it or become avoidant or run away from it or, become more spastic and kind of all over the place. Coming back and sitting calmly is great. So again, really healthy response.
So he's related to Chai and maybe.
It's like the total opposite.
And he has the personality more like mom and like dad. Just hold me and I'll melt into you. And
he's got their confidence. Like that confidence is there. It would be, if you've got a puppy who comes in here and shows zero stress, that's really exciting if you're looking for a sport prospect or a service dog prospect. But for any other application where they're not going to be expected to have this super high level of performance, this stress response is actually a lot healthier. It's more normal. So like we were talking earlier on that continuum, I was showing you everybody wants to come toward the middle is the healthiest point. He's already in the middle.
Yeah.
So I really like that. But it's funny that he's related to them because
way more mellow.
Way more mellow. And they're both like, okay, new stuff. Yeah, I got this. I own this ring. And he's just like, I'll evaluate and I'll check in. And then I'll go out and then I'll check in. Super, super nice response. like that he hasn't really reacted or responded to the
Mhm.
external sounds. He's very focused on what's here, which is good. So like a wider, busy physical environment's not going to be as likely to overwhelm him. You want to work a puzzle? You want a puzzle? Let's do a puzzle. We need to add food to this puzzle. You can do the puzzle in my lap. How about that? Maybe it's a little much. Not interested in this food. Let's see if I put you down. Oh, he's gonna go check stuff out now. We'll hold off.
It's interesting that he keeps going to the back to the dog,
Yeah, it's
and then
social.
he goes back, and he's like, he's a little suspicious over it, and then he comes back, and then he goes back and checks, and it's still there and suspicious.
Yeah, it's like, I don't get you, but if you are a dog, I would like to be social with you, but I'm not sure you are a dog. Yeah, now he's warmed up a bit, getting more enthusiastic, but he still does the same thing, even with that increase of confidence. Go out, come back. We spend so much time training dogs to do that, and he's just doing it naturally. So I think that's gonna be a default setting that he's gonna keep unless you just totally don't reinforce it, but you would almost have to work to lose that.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be a huge advantage on things like public access type stuff or recall. I think he does have to move too. He's a little distracted.
Yeah, all that noise back there, background noise,
Yeah.
and just because
It's just flowing with it. He's very focused on what's in the room with them. That's really good. Like, again, very solid temperament. It's just really interesting the difference in the way that expresses.
Good boy. Good boy.
He's going to be one that's going to have a really natural recall, like I said, and all that will need to happen is they'll just need to reinforce that. So reward him when he comes back, and acknowledge him, and don't ignore it, and you'll keep it. You interested at all in this puzzle? It's got food. This is meh. So I don't know if he just doesn't like these treats, or
Could
he's
be.
just not food.
you have something else to
motivated
offer.
right now. Yeah, I'm gonna try something else. Those and let's try these. I mean, he's nosy. He's been aware of the smells. Oh yeah, that's more
Better
like
stuff.
it. I like that. Yeah, I like these ones. Okay.
Out of this litter, we're also looking for a therapy dog,
Okay.
and we're looking for those who would do good in families with kids.
Okay. I think he could do either. He will be trainable. He's social enough with strangers. Like, he came right up to me. My only concern with him as a therapy dog would be, as he develops, does he bond so strongly to his person that he doesn't have any interest in getting love from other people, or does he stay generally social where he just doesn't care who's loving him, he just wants love. And it's really hard to predict. But he is handler focused enough that there is the possibility that he just won't be that social to other people. I don't think he'll ever be antisocial or anything like that. It'll just be like, I don't really need to go see you. Maybe.
It's like,
It's very chewy.
Okay.
I think he's just working on that. And there's a lot of background.
Yes.
Yeah, he hears those people. But see, this is kind of an interesting test for a therapy dog, is what was his response to that? Did he want to go check out the new people?
Mhm.
Not really. He really just kind of wanted to come back to the one that he knows. So, I don't know. Maybe. It could also potentially be cultivated if you
Yeah.
just heavily reinforce going to interact with new people, introduce him to a lot and make it a really good thing, and make sure that he knows that cuddles are available from many sources, then it could be built. Because he's not shutting down at all.
So far, like the visitors that we had in the house, he would like climb right in everyone's lap and take turns and just sit there for as long as he wants. So I would. So
That would suggest that he would, in like a normal, not temperament test environment, that he would be fine with that.
Yeah.
Just from the test, it's impossible to say which direction.
And like the mom is very like, oh, anybody who wants to pet me, I'm happy with it. The dad is like, it's all about me. Like, mom, I'm his moon, I'm his sun, and I'm the apple of the eye, and he doesn't care about anybody else. I mean, he enjoys when they pet him, the people he knows.
Right, yeah.
Strangers, he doesn't dislike them.
Yep.
Like, he's not aggressive or.
Yep.
But like, he's like, no, I don't know you. Why would I interact with you?
Right.
Yeah, I'd rather, like, my mom is here, I'd rather go and stay with her, and, you know. So, but maybe, like I said, what I'm seeing too is, like, he goes to different people and he likes cuddling. So maybe that can be.
Yep. Yeah, and if you're seeing that at home, then probably that can be built up. Oh, that's good. That's a barking dog. Let's see what he thinks about that.
There was something barky.
There was some barking. He went right back to his task. He processed it. I like that he did notice it, and he responded very appropriately to it. He checked in with me. Was like, "What's the deal with that?" I told him it was okay. He's like, "Okay, well then let's get back to this." He's still aware of the dog, but it's not phasing him. Like, I mean, it's a really good response. This is a very solid dog, and he's gonna be easy. These are things that are gonna make him really easy to work with. He's probably not gonna be a dog that has a super high working drive, but if he's just doing therapy work, he doesn't need that. So
He just needs to go there, like being touched by strangers.
Yep.
Cuddle with them and be calm, chill.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna be so naturally well mannered that you're not gonna need a ton of obedience training. And he's gonna be one of those that it's not that he can't learn or will be hard to train. It's just that I don't think he's going to be into a lot of repetition. He's going to get bored with it, and then he's going to be just like, do we really have to do that? But he's not going to. It's not going to be that he's going to blow off commands. It's just going to be that he doesn't love repetition, and that's very normal for the breed.
Yeah. And the thing is with but again, I think it's going to be a good thing.
Yep.
Because both of the parents are like, they're both mellow. They both listen well.
Yep.
Like, I haven't done any formal repetition or anything with them. They get it, like, sit, come. They don't like down, but whatever. But sit and come is like just as part of daily routine. Wait is part of the daily routine. Go kennel is part of the daily routine. Hey. So I think there's
Yeah. I don't think he'll be at all hard to train. It's
Hi,
just
Andy.
He's not going to want to drill obedience all day, and that's, like you said, totally fine. He'll pick up. He's smart, so he'll pick up on that organic, like life skills kind of stuff much more easily than a lot of puppies. He's going to have naturally good manners. It's going to make him a really easy dog to train and live with, just in general.
Okay.
So we spend so much time trying to teach these skills and that organic kind of just well-mannered, organically, just default, natural response over obedience. We don't even recommend obedience training. That it's really nice to see a puppy that has that inherently. So, if they take him to like a PetSmart class and they're working on sit for 15 minutes, he's probably not going to be the star of that moment because he's going to get bored. But it's because he already learned sit the first 2 times, and then he was done, and he doesn't need all that. Hi there, how are you guys doing? Little baby.
There you go. Stressing?
It's okay. I don't like this.
Drag me somewhere.
I don't want to do the penny can while he's here.
Yeah. Don't.
Yeah. I don't even want to do the umbrella. I don't think he'd notice it, but we'll wait. like his response when he starts getting bored is just like pet me.
Yeah.
I'm bored, pet me. Like it's so easy
Yep.
to.
That's how Victor is too. He'll lay there and he's like, oh, I'm bored here. Can you just smack me on the face?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. See, again, it's no.
Yeah.
There's no lack of confidence there. It's just his orientation's a little more handle-focused, which is a good thing.
Good boy. Yeah, you check that out. You did good. You did good. You did so good. You're very smart. How do you feel about smells? That's the one thing we did a test. Let's see what you think about this.
Well, he's already interested in it before I even get it out of the bag.
Okay, puppy, puppy.
He's interested in the kid there.
Yeah, he's much more interested in the kid sound. And he was interested in this, not at all disinterested, but it's not,
It's super exciting.
yeah, it's not exciting like it was for the other two puppies we tested. So,
Yeah.
you know, again, if they're not a strong working drive for a lot of the sports, but for
Yeah.
a therapy dog, family dog, that kind of thing, he's going to be great. And that's actually good because those sport dogs are hard to live with.
Yes.
So, not a sport dog, but a really nice lower end of middle of the road, which is going to make him super easy to live with. Probably also not your active hiking companion. I'm sure he'd enjoy that from time to time, but he's not the kind of dog who's going to need that. With dogs that are of this level, in that very middle range, that are really solid and really confident in the middle range, the nice thing about them is you can kind of, based on your lifestyle and your personality, you can kind of pull them one way or the other. But I don't think he's going to easily pull to the lower end of the spectrum, which is good because he's already at the perfect place for the low end. But he could be pulled a little more to the higher end. So by that I mean, if you wanted more activity with him, if you wanted a hiking companion on the weekends or whatever, I think you could raise him in such a way that he would have that little bit more interest in work, or have that little bit more interest in physical activity, hiking, playing, whatever it is you want him to do, just because you expose him to it and you make it fun for him. But he's not going to need it. So he can happily sit, healthfully sit right where he's already at, or depending on the family's lifestyle, he might drift a little more to the high side. I don't think he'll drift any more to the low side, which is good because he's already sitting at the perfect point on the low side.
Oh, good.
And it's so inherent with him. I don't think, like, if they kept him in the house and never got him out and never gave him any socialization or training whatsoever, he might drift a little lower. You'd have to almost work to mess him up. There's just very little you can do wrong with a puppy like this. Most puppies, I'll give a few cautionary things like, this is a little bit of a, not risk factor, but this is something that if this were my puppy, I would work on to prevent problems. With this guy, there's nothing. Just like, you would have to be trying to mess this up.
Goodness. Goodness. Yeah. What happened is nobody.
Except the mouth.
Except the mouth.
The mouth.
The mouth. Because I want
He's like,
help.
he's bored and he wants out and he wants to go investigate. Yeah.
He does get bored, and that's why I'm saying, like, I wouldn't do anything that requires a lot of drilling.
Yeah.
He definitely gets bored, and that's fine. That's pretty normal. Again, poodle, pretty normal, and it's not an unhealthy boredom. He's not some of our super distractible puppies. He's just very normal. Like, okay, I've done all these things. I'm done.
Yeah.
And that's just, it's not a problem at all. It's just something to know about his personality.
Yeah. Well, it's awesome.